One thing you may realize after building your report pages is to now see that, okay, one of the choices you've made with regards to colors do not work well. Then you need to go back. This is one thing you would sometimes need to do in any data project. It involves some form of iteration. Sometimes you build a report, it looks good to you. You need to send it to colleagues to review for you. And when they review, they can give honest feedback. You need to learn which feedback you choose from. Most important, you have to be resilient to change. So for what we have now, it doesn't mean it is the best. You could send it to your clients or the report users and they don't like the colors you use. Sometimes one of those people that will be using your report, maybe they are color blinded, and there are different type of color blindness. Some people are red, blue, green, and different colors like that. These are some of the factors you need to factor in when you build reports. Sometimes the issue could even be accessibility issue. So you want to make sure that your report is accessible as possible. So for what I have now, it doesn't mean it is the final. For now, we are going to assume we got a feedback that, okay, the background color for the canvas is not good enough. And in actual sense, it is not even the best background color we could use based on other things that we've used on top of the visual. There is no one rule fits all, basically, when it comes to designing reports. Remember, like I told us, as a data analyst, as a Power BI data analyst, one time we are like an architect that is designing a plan. At other time, we are an artist. At some other time, we are a scientist. At some other time, you are a business person. At some other time, you are a user interface or user experience designer. All these roles, you have to be shifting between one of them and the other. This is not unusual. And it is something you have to be comfortable with when you work. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the background color for the canvas and see and compare. Okay, do I have a better background color to use that is going to make my visuals come to life, to spice it up? You understand? Okay, let us go to the format pane and go to canvas background. And we are going to, sometimes we could just pick any of the colors we have here. At some other time, you could just come to more colors and you go to a shade of something that you have. So what I will do is I'm going to do this first and apply this. Oh, does it really look good? Yes or no? We don't know. So what I'm going to do now is to now just come to more colors and I can just come towards this direction, something bright enough, but not white. We can see now, when we compare what we have now to what we had previously, this looks much better to me. I can read what is on my visual much more better than previous. So, and we can just test, and this looks good to me, to be honest, and we can test. So what I'm using is 234, 245, 255 for the RGB values, and this is the Xcode. Sometimes an organization, they are going to give you the colors they want. And if I were you, if I'm working for an organization, I'm going to ask them, what are your color codes? So that I use the exact color codes this organization use for their reports. This means you are bringing your customer first. You are designing a customer that the customer can easily relate with. Okay, so again, we are going to assume these are the colors for the Global Superstore. And I'm going to leave it as this. And this is 231, 243, 255. So what I'm going to do is take note of these values and I'm going to use them in my other report pages. 231, 243, 255. And I'm going to come to other pages. Sales by segment, we'll leave this. Time intelligence report, canvas, and it seems this is it. Let us check the color code. Where is it? And we come to more colors. 231, 243, 255. Looks good. Then we do the same for metric by demography. And basically, you are going to see the last color that you used and we change it. Again, you have to check again. For example, my conditional formatting now, I could hardly see some of the colors. Sometimes this could be what I need to adjust. Remember, it was visible before, now I can't see it clearly. So these are issues that come up when you change colors, and we can just adjust it. We come to this visual and we come to where are you? We come to columns and we click on FX, and what do? We can just change this to something like this and change this. Good. And then we check again. How does it look? This looks better. And we can just copy Format Painter, we paste it. Okay. And that is what we have at the moment. So it's just to let us know how things work. I can just test. Again, you need to test your visuals. You always need to test enough. Test enough. Okay, good. So one thing I can also do as part of those things you should do is you need to let your end user know that, okay, this is a slicer that they need to select. So in most cases, you need to put something that indicates they need to select something. In that case, I could just add some text here, or I just change what I have on my title here. So for this slicer, I'm just going to come to Format, General, Title. Instead of having just here, I'm just going to say, choose a year. Something like this. So that users, they need to know that, oh, I need to take an action for something to happen. So, and we can make the title central, and we come to General again, Title, and we have center alignment. This is something you can do. All these little things, sometimes they make a huge difference. Okay, and over here too, we can have year and change it again to choose year. Title, let us check again what's wrong. Visual, title, values, and title. Then we change it to choose year. And what we can do is we can see we have a year here. We need to find where it is actually. So what I'm going to do in that case is to come to visual, and I need to come to, it should be somewhere. We have slicer header, right? So we can just compare which one to use. Maybe I should just come back here, deactivate this title, come to visual, slicer header, and have choose year instead, and see the effects. Choose a year. Good. Then I think we leave it as it is. Then we come to month again and do the same thing. Visual. Then we have title text. Choose a month. And this is just one of those several things you could do. Nice. And that is just that about that. In the next video or in the next module, I'm going to be showing us how to use some other visuals. These are not things we really want to put as part of our report, but for learning purpose, so that we see how they work, I'm going to show us how to use AI visuals and how to use the scatter plots most importantly. And we'll wrap up things about visuals before we go to the Power BI service.